Welcome to our DIY on a Dime channel. We are super excited to share with you some of our tips and secrets on installing and building a gas fireplace inexpensively. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We decided that we wanted to have a gas fireplace as a focal point in our living room. We have a perfect place for it. Our house was built in the early 1990s and it still has the original TV cabinet area. This area is built into the wall, so it's 20 inches deep. This allows us to put our fireplace, cabinets and shelves all flush with the wall. Our first step was to completely demolish what was there. This allows us to start with a blank slate. Once everything is cleaned up, it's time to patch and plaster. The wall around this unit had an orange peel finish. If anyone knows what that looks like from the 1990s, you know it belongs in the 1990s. We decided that we wanted a clear, flat finish. So we plastered over the top. It was not a difficult process. Once you skim it, you just sand it back flat. The paint colour we used was Behrs blank canvas, and I'll put all the details below on what type of paint and primer we used. The next step was to mask out exactly where the fireplace was going to sit. This will allow us to step back and see the dimensions from afar, exactly how it's going to look. At this stage, it's a really easy tweak if you want to make it smaller or bigger. Here we're just using painter's tape to map out the exact location we're going to build the walls and the chimney. We decided to go for a sloped chimney look rather than a straight up and down modern look. This was more towards the rustic farmhouse look that we're aiming at. Now we move on to building the structure of the chimney and the fireplace. Using 2x4, we frame out the exact location of it. We decided to go with a Heat and Glow 36-inch size gas fireplace. Fireplaces can be expensive, so we hit our Facebook local marketplace and found a great deal for a Heat and Glow 36-inch, exactly what we wanted, for $100. Remember, if you're buying a second-hand gas fireplace, always have a plumber come over and go over it and make sure that everything is working correctly. We were able to hit the Heat and Glow website at fireparts.com, where we could order the chimney and download the manual. This allowed us to see exactly how it was to be installed, with step-by-step instructions. Once you have your fireplace on site, now this allows you the ability to frame out exactly where it's going to sit. Follow the instructions in the manual for the rough opening of the sides, top and the rear around the fireplace that is needed. My design was to have an old piece of rustic barn wood for our mantle. So we headed down to our local wood mill and found this beautiful 1880s piece of wood straight out of a barn. The character on it was gorgeous. We needed to do some trimming and some fixing, but other than that, we kept it exactly as it was. We ended up with several cut-off pieces from this beautiful barn wood, and we used it for pedestals for some of our candelabras and our horse that we were going to be displaying. The rough edging was what we were going to be showing on the edge of the fireplace, and it was absolutely gorgeous wood. To seal it, we just put a natural sealant on it so that it stopped any staining from red wine or anything that was going to be sitting on there. Always remember to wear safety gear when using power tools like this Makita. For our rustic, chunky shelves that we wanted very similar in colour to our rustic mantelpiece, We went to Hobby Lobby and got a great deal with 50% off on these thick hollow shelves. We were able to cut them down to size, and being hollow allowed us to put some spotlights installed inside of them. We used a Makita skill saw to cut the shelves on an angle as they had to sit up against the sloping chimney. Next step was installing the chimney. We ordered this online with no problems. It did arrive within 10 to 12 days, and it was just like Legos. It fit together exactly as the instructions told us. My husband was able to do it within a couple of hours. Remember to have your local inspector come out before you seal everything up. That way they have clear access to your chimney, your gas line, and your fireplace. We used regular gyprock around the fireplace, except for the floor that was necessary for us to use non-combustible flooring and non-combustible gyprock around the face of the fireplace. Once everything was sealed up, we were able to go ahead and plaster over the top, giving it a beautiful smooth finish. We sanded it back and did a rough round edge on the fireplace, so it allowed it more texture to feel like it was an older fireplace rather than a new modern one. To keep the cost down, with the cupboards we went off the shelf from Lowe's. We chose the Diamond Now collection because it was fully assembled and already pre-painted. We also made sure that the measurements were exactly what we needed for either side of the fireplace. We found solid wood bench tops super expensive, so we came up with an inexpensive way to look rustic but fabulous at the same time. We went for an unfinished wood hollow core door from Lowe's. For just $66, we couldn't beat it. When cutting hollow core doors, you do need to use glue to attach it to make sure that it stays firm. We actually sprayed an insulation foam up inside of it just to give it more stability. Then we stained it to bring out that beautiful natural wood grain and sealed it. I'm doing a renovation in the kitchen soon, so I decided that the handles needed to match, and since I'm going with gold, I decided to go with the same style. I found these very inexpensively at Home Depot. For $22 we got all 4 of them. Easy to install, and they look amazing. For the final stage in this renovation, we needed to install the surround that framed in the fireplace, made from fire-retardant gyprock. Once installed, we could plaster it, prime, and paint it. We kept the edges quite rough and curved to make it feel like it was almost homemade. And I must say, it turned out fabulous. Lighting was super important in this project because it was going to highlight all of our favourite art pieces. So we decided to put lighting on every shelf. Starting at the top, we used a 4-inch spotlight that had a gimbal. Since it was going to be installed on a sloped ceiling, it was important to be able to point the spotlight directly down. We purchased these online at sunco.com. These were by far the most inexpensive ones we found, and they were quite a low profile. They put off a beautiful soft yellowy light. We avoided white light since that tends to look more like a supermarket. With the shelves we went with a small pin light, and that allowed spotlighting on some of our art pieces. We also installed a dimmer, which allowed us to bring the lighting up and down. We've designed right above the mantle for a flat Samsung picture frame TV. These TVs will actually look like a piece of artwork when you're not watching the television. We decided that this would be the best way to go since we didn't really want a TV in this room, but it gives us that option if we need it. We recommend going down to your local thrift shop and finding some great art pieces that you can put around your fireplace, some candelabras. We even found an entire surround sound system. If you enjoyed watching this, please like, subscribe and share. See you on the next one.